So I have a question for you, Cole. Do you know why?
That was an intimate moment between the three of them.
You
Thane's wiener's the
do
third
you know
one.
why it's happening?
We are champions.
Gamers, what is going on? We're doing a podcast. My name is Cole. I'm joined by Skylar and Thane, and this is the Talking Rad podcast, episode 184. No, my eyes didn't just dart to the TV to see what the number was. Don't worry.
We also could be wrong because that was a guess.
Oh, really?
Better check.
Good thing our editor Jamie's gonna cut this out, right?
Yeah,
Jamie?
Jamie's got it cut out and everything. It's great.
Jamie, get back in the corner. No, do not come in front of the camera.
Yes, we're good. We're gaming. Thanks,
It's
Jamie.
a show about nothing. What do we got?
Topics. I don't know. Well, I was gonna bring up one topic. It was, if I could remember it.
I got a funny little story.
Okay.
That you were there, but you weren't actually there because that's
Okay.
just how you hang out with us. Is you're there, but you're not there.
So he wasn't there.
Yeah, he was there physically, but not mentally.
Was I there?
Oh yeah.
I was.
So a couple nights ago, I was playing a video game. Same video game I've been playing for the last month. It's called Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I know this podcast is slowly just becoming a Xenoblade podcast.
And I'm all here for it.
Podcast. Wait, that's.
I'm here.
I think that's an actual thing. I shouldn't say that.
It's a bad thing, isn't it?
I know.
I know xenophobia is bad.
And xenocide, but I guess xenophile would be like
Someone
obsession.
who files away files on
Robots?
Xenos.
Is Xeno is that an abbreviation?
It means foreign.
Foreign. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not an abbreviation. A suffix. A prefix. It's a prefix,
yeah,
right?
File. The file part would be
guess.
like, I guess, obsession, unhealthy obsession, because you got.
I don't think it's a
It's
prefix.
not. It's the root. Xeno would be the root. File would be the suffix.
Blade is also the suffix. Let's go back to that. Because
Okay.
this is a Xenoblade podcast.
Yeah, that's right. So the other night, I was gaming. Cole's like, "Hey, you should stream your game," as he does because he likes to watch. And he told me a couple days prior to me getting to this moment. He said, "Strap in, because once you get to a certain point, you're just gonna want to straight through game for like 2.5 hours." It's because it's mostly cutscenes.
You're about to watch a movie.
It's like 80% cutscenes. They're literally a movie. So it's really intense. I just beat a battle. The characters, stuff happens to them, and there's this really heartfelt moment. And it's like leading up to a banger moment. And as I'm watching this, my controller died, but so did my brain because I fell asleep. In the middle of this really emotional cutscene.
Your awareness died.
Yeah, my cognitive awareness died. So Cole takes a Snapchat picture and sent it to our group, and he said, "Homie literally passed out during peak cutscenes," is something along those lines.
And then I said, homie literally fell asleep during one of the best cutscenes in the game.
So I don't know how long I was out for because my controller had died. These are long cutscenes.
It wasn't long. It was probably like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
So
long enough to me to look at it and go, "Really, Sky?" And then be kind of sad about it, and then go, "You know what? I'm gonna roast him. I'm gonna take a picture of it and then send it." And then sat for another minute or two, and then you woke up.
I think that Thick had said something and it woke me up.
Yep, that's what woke you
he
up.
He asked me something and I woke up, and I think all I did is I said gaming. And then I stood up.
Yeah, you said gaming.
I said gaming. I stood up so I could finish this cutscene. So I'm literally in my room gaming like this. And then the cutscene happened, and I started like freaking tearing up, just like that. That's how it happened, just like that. So I'm freaking standing up, half naked, half asleep, and then the banger cutscene hits.
Wait,
and then
half naked?
I got
What?
tears coming out of my face. So yeah, I fell asleep during one of the best cutscenes in the game, but I woke up for the important part.
Did you go back and rewatch it?
I definitely did.
So you saw the stuff that wasn't very nice
In the prison.
the very mean stuff.
Yeah.
There's a prison scene.
Yeah, it's just like that one video
Prison
you love to
shower.
watch.
Show you who's boss of this.
Yeah,
shit.
that one. You're like, my daddy taught me how, or something like that. And then like, your daddy did that. We're gonna have to call child services. That's what happened. And Thane was the dad.
No.
So the lesson I learned though is when you're playing great video games and you're tired, pause or just stand up and don't be tired.
Yeah.
So I had it because the way you're streaming it, you don't stream the audio either. So I had to pull up the cutscene on the side, and I would
Oh.
sync it when this cutscene would start playing. I'd hit play at the same time.
So I really effed you up then.
Yeah, and so I was like watching it, and then all of a sudden in the corner of my eye, I see it go gray, and I go, oh, and then I see your controller go off, and I go, oh, Sky. I felt, honestly, I won't lie, I felt really kind of
Hurt.
a little
Such
bit.
a beta move.
It's not like I pressed a button and fell asleep on purpose. I'm
No,
literally
it would have
there.
been better if you paused it and said, I'm just going to go to bed now before this is over.
I should have, but when I do things like that, like I'm actively engaged, but then I'm just gone. I just slip, and I'm not even aware that I'm falling asleep.
I won't lie, it's an incredibly dumb thing for me to be hurt about. It's not like I made the game or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, for some reason I had to like, Sky, how could you?
I didn't fall asleep on purpose, though.
That's why I roasted you though, because I was slightly hurt, and so I wanted to get back.
Well, it was funny,
Gotcha.
but I got you in a roundabout way. I apologize for that.
I could also tell how half asleep you were because like I was roasting Boober in the chat, and then like you just responded with a GIF. I'm like, what does this GIF even mean?
When? On Discord? Or
When I said like, tell your homies you don't like to hang out with them without telling your homies you don't like to hang out with them.
I think I responded way later.
It was that same night.
Was it?
Yeah, it was after the cutscenes.
'Cause
You turned it off. You turned
I
everything
know what
off.
I sent the GIF of no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to respond to that. Mine was a response to somebody else.
Yeah, I was definitely out of it then.
Yeah, you're so out of it.
Yeah, so don't play video games when you're tired.
Don't play video games while under the influence of sleep.
Yeah, I did that when I was streaming back in the day. I did that. And
Oh,
yeah,
freak. I
during a-
remember that. I remember seeing you fall asleep on stream.
Yeah, during a Yakuza cutscene, it was like midnight, granted, and I was like, "Yeah."
I swear, I remember pulling up your stream and just seeing you pass out
Yeah.
in front of the camera.
I'm pretty sure there was one night
I was
where
it was the resident sleeper right there.
I remember the Red Dead one, the Red
Yeah.
Dead streams you fall asleep on.
there was.
Yeah.
I think there was one night. It was Zay, Thick, me, and Alex. And maybe you were there too, Cole. But you were passed out on stream, just freaking zonked, dude. We were just sitting there roasting you.
Because he had his camera on or something?
His camera on. He slept with like his tongue out. So it was like a.
Homie just passes out.
Yeah.
Whenever, wherever, whatever he might be doing,
You
he's
never
out.
saw his dungeon, did you? He had a streaming dungeon.
I just saw it on the
downstairs.
stream.
And he was streaming right under you were streaming Thane right under
yeah.
the vent. So Thane would be like huddled up with a blanket
Yeah.
and he's gaming like this at the screen.
Because he was cold?
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't move it. He had the whole basement. And he
I don't know. I just
gamed
kind of
right
left
under
it.
the vent.
That was a weird time to be streaming.
Yeah, there's a weird time in your life where you're going
yeah.
in between school and
Work.
Yeah.
What did you do for work back then?
I
I think it was your janitor job.
yeah, housekeeping at a not house. I mean elderly home. I was in the lockdown section. They had to keep the doors locked.
Like you'd lock the people in at night so they make sure they don't like sneak
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and like canoodle with each other
Yeah.
sexually.
That's an achievement though.
Yeah.
If you're in an old folks home and you find someone to canoodle with, it's at least 300 gamer score.
It's
Wow. The other two gamer scores are only worth like 50 points each or something. Because you have to have a maximum of 1,000 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Unless you're
before
an
I had
indie game.
Xbox.
Indie games didn't have to have 1,000.
It's not as dangerous as it sounds. I mean, they're old people. You can push them over and they die. I mean,
Wait.
I mean-
what the? We
mean-
weren't saying like We weren't saying like they're
Dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah.
We said they're just
If
promiscuous.
they wander outside, though, it's a danger to them because
Yeah,
they're not mentally.
don't push them over though. Just
Yeah. I'm just saying. I never pushed them over.
You're just saying you could in
Yeah.
self-defense.
Yeah,
this guy.
they're
I could kill him.
Don't you think you could walk faster than them though?
yes, all of them.
So
I
then
can
you
beat
don't-
them all in a race.
You don't. You don't have to push anyone over. Just walk at a normal
Yeah.
pace away.
Could you think you could beat me in a race?
Although if they try to claw my eyes out, I'll just pull out my
You
shank.
just need an answer.
He
Yes.
knows the answer.
No, I mean I don't know.
Want to race right now to the mailbox?
No.
We checked earlier.
checked
for
You did?
Yeah.
It's a freak.
Nothing?
It's freaking the last person who lived here. It was like from the hospital, and it's like,
There's a
hopefully it's
letter
not their
for
bill.
Mr. Yuji Naka.
Yeah.
The last
Koji
tenant.
Kondo?
Koji Kondo, the last tenant of the house.
Yeah, did you guys know Koji Kondo lived in our house before us?
No, he decided to move to the west.
Mario theme songs
The
all
western
day.
parts of the states.
Why'd you go Yuji Naka? Why was that the name that came
That's
to
the
your mind?
Sonic guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he trying to escape like his fraud that he was doing earlier?
I think he got like 2 years jail or something.
Something.
Yeah. He got Martha Stewarted. That's the other person.
Isn't she the butter lady?
No, that's
Betty
Paula
Crocker.
Dean. No, that's
Oh.
Paula Dean, the lady who puts butter in everything. And Mitch, you said the N word. And
That's
Oh,
Paula
yeah.
Dean.
Martha Stewart's like she kind of cooks, but she also has like catalogs. She got arrested for insider trading.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of insiders that are trading.
Yeah, they just haven't got caught yet.
Do you think our boy Shigeru's up there? Do you think he's canoodling around with a little trading?
I think he's well off. I think Yuji Naka, he's just like been from
I wonder if
project
it's
to
like a
project,
game.
and his last game, Battle Wonderworld, bombed pretty
I
hard.
bet. Well, I shouldn't be throwing accusations around, but I'm going to about something else anyway, so I guess I'll say this one that I was about to say. I bet people like Hideo Kojima does that. Hideo Kojima. Like, passively. Because, I mean, like, he's got so much sway in the industry. All he's got to do is say yeah, I'm in Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he is technically,
Yeah.
he is in Cyberpunk, but, like, bro, like, I wonder if, like, he had some kind of, like, granted, he wouldn't have made any money off of that because CD Projekt Red, I don't think their stock went up after all that situation. But hey, if it would have worked out for him. Anyway, I want to talk about something I actually know about because I'm just saying words at
Well,
this point.
well,
We're
one
just
thing about
having fun.
One thing about Hideo Kojima, I think that he could probably have murdered someone and then like left evidence in the code of one of his games, like very cryptically, and no one would be smart enough to figure it out. But he's like a serial killer. Every time he releases a game, every time he kills someone, he releases a new game at least.
And then before he dies, he releases a book saying, "This is how I did it."
Yeah.
No, a game that says this is how I did it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
this-
he releases
yeah,
a
game.
game. This is how I did it. And in the
And
game,
here's-
you have to go into all his games
Yeah.
to find the code.
Yeah.
and
It
then
spoils every game he makes
Yeah.
too. Like Metal Gear Solid 3
And
is
it's a
already
10 out of
spoiled
10.
for you.
That's the real kicker.
Because the games are phenomenal.
The game, the game is a 10 out of 10.
The
and
book's
then
a good book too.
you find
Yeah.
out he murdered somebody.
Then you see the picture of the corpse in the last game, and then the game gets pulled from shelves because it's a picture of an actual dead body.
Anyway, where I was going
Yeah.
with this is a very similar conversation to what you're saying about insider trading and how it sort of happens in card markets. Because, I mean, like I said, I know cardboard, right?
Yeah.
Cardboard markets. So there's a handful of, I specifically know Yu-Gi-Oh people that do this, that about every day or every other day, they'll put up a video that like is like a market watch video. Like, these are the cards that I've seen go up in value for some reason or other, and these are the ones that are going down, so maybe you want to pick them up. And like, this person, one of the people I'm thinking of in particular, is like definitely using this to their benefit. Like, I've seen him basically be like, "Hey, everybody, go buy this card out," and there's like, "Okay, we'll do it." So they all buy it, and then he just sells his entire stock for like 300% profit
Oh
essentially.
my gosh.
Granted, it's like low numbers. It's like, I don't know, $5 jumps up to $10, which is like, obviously it adds up, but gets away with it.
There's something that I've noticed that's similar but not as malicious. Not saying that guy is doing that intentionally.
No, I don't think he is all the time, but I think he is definitely doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like, I know a lot of people that watch MJR were complaining that anytime he does a hidden gems video,
those games go up in price.
Price of those games go up. But and he made I think he made a statement. I think it was in one of his videos saying, "Listen, like, I do these hidden gem videos so you guys can literally like find some hidden gems that aren't very popular." You know what I mean? So it sucks because he has that much influence, but like, I mean, what do you do? That's the way of the road.
And like, I'm pretty sure MJR is on the good side of this, because like, it'd be pretty obvious if he was on the bad side if all of a sudden there was just an influx of copies available on eBay, which I don't think that there is after he tells people about the games that he wants.
I don't think he very seldom does he sell games. Like,
No,
I don't think I've ever. I mean, maybe he does, but I've never really heard him say that he does.
I mean, if he does, he would be doing it at conventions, and he never does. He just walks around the conventions, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like MJR. It's like, oh, Metal Jesus rocks. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Remember when I was still like a little religious boy, and I saw the name Metal Jesus rocks? I'm like, that's blasphemous. That's blasphemous.
Now he's a religious man.
Yeah.
He's for the religion of anime
and video games.
Video games.
God and anime on my side.
He can't wait for the second coming of Garagura.
Yeah.
Wait,
I can't.
is she gone?
No, I don't know.
No,
it's the only
she got a new
first
out.
VTuber I thought of.
She has a new second coming of Akai Hato.
There you go. There's
Yeah.
one. There's the joke for all you VTuber fans.
She's been gone for half a year now.
I'm waiting for the third coming of Halo, and I want it to be good. Is that too much? Am I hopeful? Is this false hope that I'm
Wait,
throwing
what was
out?
the second coming of Halo?
It was
Halo
Halo
2?
4.
I think it was supposed to be Halo Infinite.
Wasn't it Halo
failed.
4? Because Halo Reach was kind of an endpoint. It's like Microsoft's like, we're going to have more. Halo 3 was the endpoint.
I mean, if we're being honest, Halo Reach just proved that you could just do more Halo without Master Chief.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. They were like,
No, yeah, they didn't do it,
Yeah. But I think they should have. They should have been like, ooh, like they should have had Spartan Locke kind of have like his own game or something.
yeah.
Instead, it's like, oh, you get to play as Chief. It's like, who cares about this Locke guy? I want to play as Chief.
What's interesting too, though, is I usually say if the story's bad but the gameplay's good, I'm in. I think Halo 5 has very good gameplay.
Yeah.
That story's really bad. Not fun.
But it's fun to play.
I know, it's fun to
I
play.
I like it.
I played the multiplayer and I was very confused by all the cards and like what to do with them and all the loadouts. So it's like, what am I doing? I don't get this.
I think Halo 5 had a lot of potential to be something good. They just didn't stick the landing.
Yeah. Yeah, like I didn't finish campaign, but
I finished
Yeah.
that campaign. I didn't finish Halo Infinite's campaign.
see, I even started. I only played the free multiplayer, and that was about it for Halo Infinite.
I played 3 hours of Halo Infinite. Then I was like, oh, it's open world. That's right. And I
It's
didn't
not-
play it again.
What's interesting though about that is you're true to your disliking of open.
I just don't like them.
because Xenoblade X as well.
I tried so hard, and I paid 20 hours of
that's-
that game. And I
that's-
probably will get back into it, but man, the open world aspect of it kind of
Blows.
Well,
but just for me though,
I
it's
have a
one of the best
question.
looking open worlds I've ever seen in my life, and it's super super cool. And without that game, we probably wouldn't even have Breath of the Wild. But man, I'm not into it.
Oh yeah, didn't Monolith help with Breath of the
Yeah,
Wild? Yeah. That makes sense.
basically how it went down is Monolith's like, hey, let's make this Xenoblade open world. They're like, okay. And then after it was released, Nintendo's like, hey, we like your funny magic man.
I like
give
your
us-
funny design, Magic Man.
Magic, yeah, and so they borrowed them.
So I have a question for you, Cole. Do you know why?
That was an intimate moment
Do you
between
know
the
why
three
that
of them.
you
Thane's Wiener's the
do
third
you know
one.
why? It's
We
happening.
are champions.
Do you know why you don't like open worlds?
No, I don't, because I like Zelda.
Because you haven't really taken a step back and analyzed why you don't like them.
I mean, no, I haven't.
You should. You should do a video on it. You should.
Why I don't like open world
That's
games?
funny because you went through Tears of the Kingdom. How did you enjoy Tears of the Kingdom?
Loved Tears.
Okay. That's funny because I usually am more tolerant of open worlds. Like, I like Ghost of Tsushima. Red Dead's one of my favorite games. Red Dead 2, it's a bit too realistic, but I liked it. I beat it. Tears of the Kingdom, I surprisingly have just not played through it. I don't know. It's just... it would be harsh to say I lost interest, but that's kind of what happened.
I think here's my hot take on it, Thane. I think that your taste of it was soured by your delay, because you liked it enough to get the special Switch. You liked it enough to pre-order the game, but I think when your pre-order got delayed, I think that cut you deep.
That probably did. It probably like killed my enjoyment because also I was busy with the video, so.
Want to know something interesting? I've never beat Minecraft.
Like beat
Like
the
got the-
dragon.
Nope, never done it.
I've never done that either. I always kind of wanted to, though.
Wait, you, Thane, have never beat the
No,
dragon?
I've never beat the dragon. I was like, dang, I played a lot of that. I should really go beat the
So
dragon.
you guys have never rolled credits on Minecraft?
Never.
No.
That's insane. Okay, I got a
Put
follow-up
so
question
many
for you
hours
guys
into
then.
it too.
What's a game that you've put who knows how many hours into but have never rolled credits on?
Probably Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto was the first
Yeah.
one that came to my brain. But let it be known, I've never played a story mission past the tutorial.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless you
GTA
count
5.
those heists that we did when we were playing online together.
Yeah, we grinded one heist. That was like, it got a lot of money if you did it right.
This doesn't really count because there's not credits in Forza Horizon, but all the Forza Horizon games I've played didn't really have credits except for the first one that I can remember. The second one actually might have had like a credit scene, but the fourth and the fifth one definitely never have like a roll credit scene.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I've never seen them. I put over 100 hours in at least both of them.
I put like 50 hours in Elden Ring, but I never did roll credits. I don't even think I got through half that game.
What's crazy, and this is just how my brain functions, is if I put a lot of time into a game, I'm going to try my absolute hardest to finish it. But that being said, if I play a game for like an hour, 2 hours tops, and I'm not having fun, I'm done with it. Like, I'll move on.
The reason I brought up Minecraft is because that's kind of an open world game. And it kind of just... I get bored of open world games, I guess. I don't know.
I wonder if it's...
I like being told what to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wonder if it's you don't really want to create your own adventure, rather just you want to experience what the devs want you to experience.
I want to experience the best of what they can do, not the meh of all of what they can do, you know? I mean, that's what open world games are. Don't at me, but they're just like a giant mess of the most mediocre that a dev can do.
I will admit, open world games at times be overwhelming because they give you sometimes they'll give you so much stuff. Like sometimes they'll spoon feed you. It's like, hey, here's this stuff, here's this. Suddenly the map's just loaded with stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh.
See, I feel like there needs to be a healthy balance of not too much, but obviously not too little. And I feel like Tears of the Kingdom definitely leans more towards the too much side, but I'm okay with it. It's like right in that sweet spot of there's just enough for wherever you go. There's things to do, but you're also, and this is most open worlds, you're not required to do everything.
I remember Spider-Man was...
I played and beat that game.
Is that open world? Or?
Yeah, that's
it's
open
totally
world.
open world.
But like, I just did what they told me to do.
Yeah, they kind of streamlined to like, hey, you should do this. Sometimes they will stop the story and said, hey, I should go do some solve some crimes.
Yeah,
but
Peter would
like
say
2
stuff like that, and I
missions.
said, F that. I'm going to the freaking main missions. Why would I do that?
So you like open region games though?
Yeah, like Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xenoblade works, but there's also always a giant quest marker that says, hey, you can do this.
And if you think about it, in Xenoblade, there's really not much you can do. You can explore and collect things. You can fight, do side quests or the main stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it's fun.
I mean, that's the same for any open world game, though. I would like equate things like Xenoblade and open world games to be almost one and the same. I think the reason why I prefer things like Xenoblade is because they give it to me in chunks.
That's
If say like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild was like 9 different Great Plateaus, and I can't go to the next one without finishing one of them, I think that would be the best kind of a design for me. But at that point, is it open world? We'll find out by watching my video, you chumps.
What's interesting too is this makes me think of it's like the human psychology of humans like less, especially when it comes to making decisions. For example, you go into an ice cream parlor. If you had 3 choices, vanilla, chocolate, or swirl mix, humans prefer less choices over more choices. Whereas you walk into the ice cream parlor and there's 20 different flavors, you're like, I guess I'm just going to get vanilla because that's what I always get. You know what I mean? So humans prefer less choices psychologically, or like that's our human psychology. So I feel like that bleeds over into open world games where for you specifically, you want a streamlined experience. Whereas somebody like me, and maybe this just comes from my hours and hours and hours of dicking around on Halo and Forge and that kind of crap.
Oh, here's one. 7 Days to Die. You guys love that game. I know I would hate that game.
There literally is no ending.
Yep.
It's just craft. But that's the thing, though, is it's kind of build your own experience. Sure, the experience doesn't change, but how you go about that experience does change.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun to me.
I know you didn't like this game, but I actually think it's kind of genius with this design. It's Project Zomboid. I know explaining the game, Cole said it sounds stupid, but if you play it and you enjoy it, it's actually pretty well-designed game.
You said there's a key word you said there.
Huh?
And you enjoy it?
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed what I did, but like...
No.
Yeah.
That was the key word you said.
Yeah.
You said if you play it and you enjoy it, then you're going to like it.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm like, of course, if you enjoy it, you're going to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't enjoy these games.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the problem.
Yeah, like that's... If you play it, I played it and enjoyed it and thought that, yeah, it's pretty ambitious for what it does, and some things it does really good. Like, but I think the one thing that kind of almost kills it is the combat, because sometimes you just snap around behind a zombie and that zombie will take a bite out of your neck. It's really frustrating at times. But like, I think it's a pretty well designed game. It's still in early access.
Games can be perfectly crafted.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that like some people just aren't gonna like it.
Yeah, like Red Dead 2. Like, I like Red Dead 1 more because it's not as realistic. Like Red Dead 2, it feels kind of weighted. It feels like when you get off your horse, pull out your gun, there's all animations. Some people don't like that. They just want, like quick, swift motions when you skin an animal. Like, people don't want to see an entire cutscene. They just want to skip that. But, like...
I don't blame them.
Yeah, but, like, some people don't mind that. It's like, yeah, I like realism.
So, I got another question for you guys. Since... like, obviously aging from when you first started playing games till now, would you say you're more, like, dialed into the games you like to play, or are you still more, like, broad and where you're more willing to try different things?
I'm willing to try different things.
I'm willing to try anything, baby.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like... I don't know. It's hard to gauge that when you're a kid, right? You don't really have access to games.
Yeah, it's
I guess
true.
for me, it's very defined because growing up, I didn't have that many games, but I knew what I liked. And I liked shooters. There were very few sports games I liked, and I liked adventure puzzle games.
Well, if you went to a rental place like I did, which like almost every weekend, you could like try different games. And unfortunately, my parents wouldn't let me get the M games, so I couldn't try those. But it was good.
You were missing out.
I know.
M for missing out.
I wanted to get Nightmares as Kid from Silent Hill 2, but I can't.
What's interesting, though, too, is I bring up this point because I know for a fact that you two have tried way more games than I have as far as, like, variety goes, which is cool. I'm very jealous of you guys, and I know I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on the show.
I guess that's true because when I was younger, my tastes were like, oh, this looks cool, but you were younger. No offense.
I
You'd
mean,
be
I could
like,
throw out a.
this looks gay, and
See,
it was like
that's the
Zelda. Like, I don't think you were into Zelda very much.
No, I loved Zelda.
Okay.
I was always into
Well,
Zelda, but
I remember I was playing Zelda 1, and you like made fun. It was like,
'cause
what's
it's
this
old.
gay game? And I literally hit you in the face, and
it's old.
yeah, I did not like that.
I think my tastes have basically stayed the same. I mean, if I look at my top 5 games from high school, it was The Last of Us, Forza Horizon 2, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, Zelda Wind Waker, and Halo 3. Those were my top 5 games back then. And now, I mean, it might be a little bit more skewed towards RPGs now. But that's probably just because I've played more than I did back in the day. I mean, it's like Xenoblade, Persona, Zelda, Wind Waker specifically still. Still love Horizon. Still love my Forza. Shooters would be Titanfall 2 now instead of Halo. Last of Us is still up there. But mostly because of story, not because of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it was back then, too.
Yeah. I guess mine has changed the most from when I was a kid, though, because it was basically Halo, and then, like, obviously Mario. I had a few Zelda games that I really liked. I never really liked fighting games. I still don't. I was just really bad at them. Smash, I had fun playing Smash. I wasn't good at it, though. Racing games, I liked a lot as a kid. I haven't played them as much since.
Yeah, it's you just smash into each other's cars and stuff.
You got to win.
I won't play with them. I've actually never played a racing game with them where they've done that to me, but they've said that they would, and so I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. There's just
I personally
aggressive
like
driving.
I personally like to play by the rules, and there's friends I know that wouldn't play by the rules, and I'd always be mad. Every time I tried to play Portal 2 with a friend, they just dick around, and I'm like, well, we're going to solve the puzzles, man.
You got to do a little bit of dicking around.
Yeah,
a
like
little bit in Portal 2.
The one puzzle with like the pressure mats, and you, like, lift them up, crush them. Yeah, you got to do that once.
You got to do it once.
Yeah.
But like, I understand like the guy that's always constantly. I'm not. I hate that too.
Yeah, like I just want to play with a friend who like maybe does a little bit of trolling, but overall
we
just
do a
wants to
little
get
bit of trolling.
but just wants to get the game done.
So I definitely have you to thank, though, Thane,
Yeah.
for broadening my video game horizon, because, like I said, it was Halo, Call of Duty when I got into junior high. I had Mario games and Zelda games. That's basically it. But Thane introduced me to Dark Souls back in, I was probably like 8th or 9th grade.
Me and Jordan were playing it, and then it's like, what's this? It's like, oh, it's Dark Souls. You want to try it? He's like, oh, sure. And I think you hated it at first, but it's like, yeah, you got to play it like this.
And who doesn't? But
He got me, though. He got me with that fantasy. He knows what I like.
I think you got Dark Souls 2 first. You beat that.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is like
a harder game.
Yeah, technically a harder game and easier at the same time.
And everybody hates it. Find out why in Skylar's video.
Yeah.
This is just a big infomercial for all our videos.
I remember actually playing that, and I joined a cult. Like, it was one of the first cults you can join with a little statue, and Jordan said, that makes the game harder. I'm like, oh.
Great.
Guess I'll leave it.
The moral of the story today is to not join cults.
Yep.
Well, it depends
because
on
they will make the games harder for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thane got me into Dark Souls. Jordan and David got me into Skyrim. Thane also got me into Minecraft. So it was just a lot of me playing a bunch of different games. I remember when Thane got the Wii, I started playing like I always liked on-rail shooters.
Yeah.
But you got Prince of Persia, which is kind of like a platforming adventure game.
That was the Wii version.
Yeah. Is that the bad version?
I don't know, probably, but it was the third one I remember.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4, I remember watching. I don't know if you had it on the Wii or if Jordan had it. Maybe he had it on the GameCube.
I rented it on the Wii, and then we all played it, and like, yeah, I remember you got a copy.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas. So you got me into that. I remember playing Castle Crashers. Like I remember when indie games were popular on the 360. I was very anti indie game. I was like, Why would I play an indie game that's a...
I understand that feeling.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
really dumb because indie games slap, and a lot of indie games back then slapped.
That's where indie games broke through, was on the summer of Xbox Live, summer of arcade.
I won't
whatever it's
lie,
called.
I still don't necessarily love indie games. I'd much rather play a AAA game than an indie game personally.
Yeah, but I remember like
I don't share that same thing.
yeah.
I've played plenty of indie games, but I guess I just like the quality of AAA better.
There's some games I see. It's like, wait, this game's indie. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is technically independent because it's self-published. I think Hasbro like only licensed the game and then they pretty much self-funded. That's because they have a history of like backlog games developed through the Divinity series. But yeah, like the independent games they come out with today are really high quality. People just are better at making games now if they're like, because they got tools.
They're definitely
Yeah.
better, but if I'm
Yeah.
playing one, I know I'm playing an indie game.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I don't have to, like, look it up. I just go, oh, yeah, this is an indie
Yeah.
game. We're not at the point where, like, you can't tell, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think, yeah, Baldur's Gate, I think, but then again, Baldur's Gate probably had some like funding from somewhere. Maybe Hasbro funded it. I don't know.
That said, indie games actually typically run well at launch.
Yeah, that's
Which is
true.
ironic now that
'Cause
I talked about how I like AAA quality
Yes,
better.
That was
Yeah.
something I was gonna bring up. Was that's why I don't really share
Even
that
with
sentiment.
bugs and stuff, I still feel the quality. But also, I don't play Elder Scrolls games, so there's another
Yeah.
reason. You know, I never had that experience where like it doesn't feel like a AAA quality game. It just feels like a fun game.
Bethesda game.
I never had that because I don't play Bethesda games.
Yeah.
See, and I think I'm at the point too where
Oh, I guess I play Overwatch. That's fun.
like I love indie games. I mean I love AAA games too when they function properly. But I don't like I'm not prejudiced towards one or the other. I just want to play a good video
Oh
game.
yeah, I don't want to say I'm prejudiced towards them.
And you
I just
didn't,
can
you
tell
didn't,
that I
yeah.
like AAA better.
Sure, yeah.
And I can tell right away if I'm playing a AAA or an indie game, even if the AAA game is buggy, like Cyberpunk. I knew Cyberpunk was a AAA game, and it felt like one, even though it wasn't like running as best as it could be.
Yeah, well, it had Keanu Reeves in it, so of course it's gonna be AAA. If you see a big celebrity, it's like, yep, AAA.
That's not always the
Yeah.
case, I don't think.
That's true. Actually, they do get some surprising celebrities in like indie games. Like one celebrity will just reach out and say, "Sure, I'll do a voice. I'll do a funny
Yeah.
little voice."
What's interesting though is there's a lot of, especially like the last decade, I feel like there's been so many banger indie games that come to the table and just explode. But obviously that's few and far in between what gets released as far as indie
Yeah.
games go.
Yeah, like usually retro games, like, oh, this game feels like it's from the NES. That's an indie game right there. Yeah, but I like some indie games. I think some are great. I think some are really fun. Like, I think that there was a Vampire Survivors clone called Hollow Cure, which is a Hololive fan game.
I was gonna say Metal
It's really
Hellsinger is the closest the closest indie game, in my opinion, that's ever felt like a AAA game to me.
Yeah.
That game does not really feel indie.
Yeah.
You can't
They
quite
even-
tell that it's an indie game just from playing
Yeah.
that game.
They
Save for the length. The length of the game kind of makes it obvious.
they even got like famous artists, like they got the guy from System of a Down to do some
Mhm.
songs. It's like,
What about
wow.
like Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight?
No,
I've never played those.
I can tell. Yeah,
You can?
I've never played Hollow Knight,
So,
but I've played Shovel Knight.
What's the giveaway then? Is it the gameplay?
It
Is
just-
it the
it's basic.
graphics?
yeah.
It's basic. There's not a. I mean, there's a lot to it, but like, there's not a lot to it. I don't know
Yeah.
how to describe it.
Is
But,
it like 2D platformers or like 2D?
That's one of the
indie
biggest ones.
games?
I mean, that
Yeah.
helps.
So is Metroid Dread? Is that a AAA title?
yeah.
Yeah, then yes. Everyone thought it was an indie game. Like, it's like, no, that's
What do you mean?
Yeah, no.
Why would
that's
that ever be?
I don't
It says
know. I don't
Metroid.
know where people got the idea, because like there was like, no, the developers like established, like
Isn't
they
it
made
retro?
No,
retro?
Metroid Dread was Mercury Steam.
Okay.
It's the guys who made the Castlevania Lords of Shadow games. Like, yeah, those guys are established. They've been around for a long time.
And it's
I don't
published by Nintendo.
Know, yeah, I don't know why people think they're indie.
I mean, it's literally a Nintendo
Yeah.
IP. Like, there's no way that's an indie game.
Yeah, I mean they're a lesser known developer, but if you look at their history, it's like they're not indie.
You'll get crossovers occasionally, like Cadence of Hyrule,
Yeah.
but that's not necessarily a
Yeah.
Zelda game. It's still.
I think
Crypt of the
I'm
Necrodancer.
understanding what you're saying too, because you could play Cadence of Hyrule. That feels like an indie game.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Sayonara Wild Hearts,
Yeah,
clearly an indie game.
yeah.
Going farther to something like, I'm trying to think of like a 3D game, so it's not just. Other one I can think of is like Neon White, but like you guys didn't play that. But like obviously you can tell it's indie.
Almost every survival game, like Ark, Survival Evolved, that game, you can tell that game's indie, even though it's made enough money for Vin Diesel to get.
I guess that's
the
another
sequel.
thing. That's another thing. If a game is like constantly being updated as if it came out in alpha, like Minecraft, that's a turnoff for me.
Yeah, like 7 Days to Die is still an alpha. It's been
Like,
in for years.
Cyberpunk released in a terrible state, but it was a finished game.
Yeah.
And I could tell it was a finished game. Obviously, they had to like add things and make things better, but like the version I played at launch, I could have played that from start to end just fine and been okay. And obviously, I'm a bit like, I had some benefits with a nice computer and all that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the game in general. The game was still finished.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna.
It wasn't like
they're adding
you
more.
do
elements
chapter
to it.
1 and they go, that's the end of this build of the game. We'll see you in a year for chapter 2. No, I hate that. That drives me up a wall.
I don't think
I want a finished thing.
I don't think I've ever played a game that has what you just
I hate
described.
it.
Actually,
I can't remember off the top of my head what they were. I know I've done it like twice, and ever since then I've ever been like, no, I'm not doing that.
we'll look for that early access tab.
If it says early access, it's a very big turnoff for
Yeah.
me. Incredibly big turnoff.
Actually, remember Baldur's Gate 3 for years. It was in 2020. It launched in early access, and now it's full release. So I'm pretty sure, like, you didn't probably get to the final meat of the game until the full release. But now that it is, like,
See, for me, I guess it just
Yeah,
depends
it's,
on what kind of game it is. Like a survival game that gets updates, like that doesn't bother me one bit.
I hate it.
If anything, it gives me a reason to go back into the game.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that's part of the reason I don't like Minecraft anymore. I feel like it had too many updates. I thought it was at a point, in my opinion, where I was like, yeah, this is a complete game. Like, I played during the early beta. I didn't play in the alpha, but I played during the early beta, and it was fun to watch the updates. And after the 1.0 update where the game launched, I was like, cool. And then they did more updates. I'm like, stop. We're done. This game is finished. Do another game. This game's good enough. We don't need more. I personally don't like all the updates in Minecraft.
You know, they added bees.
Yeah, I don't care for
and
that.
They added something called the Warden.
If I go into Minecraft, it literally doesn't look like the Minecraft I played, and maybe this is kind of boomer talk, but like...
Especially when we would load up a Caves and Cliffs map.
See, and
Which is a cave system.
that kind of stuff is definitely made for the concurrent players that keep playing.
Yeah.
Sure. And
And
I'm all for, like, supporting games as, like, a live service style of a game. But, like, when I signed on to Minecraft, I didn't think it was going to be a live service game. I just thought I was buying a pre-alpha or a early access game that's eventually going to be a fully done game. In my mind, it was, I better buy it now so when it's fully out, I got it for cheaper. That was part of the reason why I got Minecraft. Not to mention YouTube got me to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I disagree, but I understand.
And that's fair. I mean, if there wasn't enough people disagreeing with my opinion on this, they wouldn't do it, you know? So, like, obviously, I think I'm in the minority on this.
And what's interesting is I had a similar but different thought as a kid was with Pokemon. Because I grew up with the 151. I was like, awesome. And then they added more, and I'm like, no, I don't want any more. Why are you adding more? Yeah, I had that thought. I don't know why.
That's funny.
I was a very stubborn kid.
If it was just like you're in Kanto every game and they just keep adding more Pokemon, I would hate that.
Sure, and that's what I'm saying. It's similar but different. Like it's obviously you're getting a completely new Pokemon game that is finished.
Yep.
There is a beginning and an ending.
Correct, yeah.
Something like Minecraft or just any survival game in general, there is no beginning or ending. And I kind of see it like Fortnite, where they constantly keep adding things to the game to keep players engaged.
That's a live service game. And granted, that's what these other games are becoming, as a live service game. But with Minecraft specifically, that, in my in my mind and my eyes back then, that's not what it was supposed to be.
I see.
And also, that might be just because I didn't really know any live service games back then. That wasn't really a thing that they did.
Well, I guess weren't the only live service games basically MMOs?
Yeah,
back
pretty
then?
much. I mean, I'm sure if you looked hard enough, you could find some.
Yeah.
Looks like Thane's done with this conversation. What do you got for us next, Thane?
Oh, sorry. I was stretching because my tailbone hurts. These chairs, I don't like these chairs.
Maybe you got to do some more squats.
Maybe, I don't know.
I go to the gym. You can come with me.
I don't want to go to the gym.
Oh, okay.
We can squat at the house.
Sure, I guess. What do you...
Well, I got a question then, and I guess DLC is a little bit different than
Yeah,
these games
that's
getting
an
updated.
add-on. It's not
That's just a post add-on.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought of that was like an
Phantom
add-on.
Liberty isn't fixing the game. They were supposed to do that before. They were trying to do that before they announced that Cyberpunk. They were doing that before they announced Phantom Liberty. They had to delay it. They were actually going to have 2 of these, I think, and then they had to
They canceled one of the DLC.
Yeah, cancel one of the C, scrapped it. They're probably going to recycle in for Cyberpunk 2, which is now being developed in the new West branch.
But even back in the day, like Gears of War 2's DLC, which was like the cut mission that they let you have because they cut it out of the base game and then you bought the DLC it came with it. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's not new content. I mean, it's new content, but it's not like, oh, and here's 5 new guns with this new map or this new mission.
Yeah.
It's literally just another mission, a campaign.
Yeah.
See, and that's, I guess, I know they're different, but that's kind of how I view DLCs and updates to games.
Yeah.
Specifically because some of the DLCs I got back in the day were like for Call of Duty, where you would get map packs. I don't think that they added new guns with Modern Warfare. I think adding new guns came with later games.
I think that wasn't until Xbox One era.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like the Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
Which, that stuff kind of made me mad because I was like, well, I don't want to buy the DLC just to get the gun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can understand in some aspects of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just microtransaction it to you. It's like, oh, you don't need to buy a pack. You can just shill out $10 for one gun. But adding extra levels like Gears 2 reminds me of when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out on mobile. The people who ported it, they fixed a level that originally was scrapped. You could access it in the Genesis version, but it was like a pixelated
Christian
vomit.
Whitehead?
What?
Christian Whitehead did it?
Yeah. But they got that, and he actually fixed up the level and like designed the whole thing for the mobile version. And I think they added in the Origins collection, but
From what I understand, I don't know if it is anymore, but the best way to play those old Genesis Sonic games, if not on the original hardware, was the mobile ports.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
And yeah, I think the Origins collection, they were gonna be like the perfect ones, but then Sega, I guess, tinkered with some stuff, and Christian Whitehead or the team was not happy with what they changed.
Did some FE-WFEs.
Yeah. So I don't know, but there's also another one. There was a Crash Bandicoot. Remember back in the day we did playthroughs, if you remember that. They're hidden in the channel somewhere. We did a Crash Bandicoot playthrough, and the save system in that was either you like beat like a big main level to save, or you collect all like gems in one level or beat a bonus stage. It's like weird saving for the game. It was very like
Not
abstract.
good.
Yeah, not very fun for like, and this game was hard for like a game back in its day. But apparently there was a level they cut that was apparently too hard, and they released it as DLC for some reason on the PS4 version, just one level. I think it was free or it was $1 or so, I can't remember. But yeah, it's really cool how they just like kind of re-added a cut level that was apparently too hard for the original release from an already hard game. But I think that's pretty cool how they like re-release this ad stuff, like unlike some games that like re-release stuff and they just cut a ton of stuff. Like I remember the Red Dead release, they just pretty much removed the online from the re-release, and it's like okay, even though the online is still up on the 360 version. I don't really get that, but okay.
Another thing I thought of that I think why it might be skewed this direction is because going back to Minecraft, when there was a significant update in Minecraft, you couldn't update your old worlds. You have to start over.
Yeah.
I hate that so much because
Yeah.
it's like, imagine you're playing through Xenoblade, right? You're playing through a story game. And I treated Minecraft as a bit of a story game, you know, It was me surviving, you know, going out there and trying to survive and conquer, essentially. And you're playing through this game, and all of a sudden they say, you got to start from the beginning again. Just delete your save file. You might as well, because we got more stuff. We want to put more stuff in the game. Just delete your save file. We got something new.
That was...
Hate that.
I don't know if it was every version, but the PS4 version of Doom 2016 I had, every time it had a major update, it would delete my save file. And
Yeah,
I
that
was like,
sucks.
Yeah, that's really bad. But
Yeah. That was on.
same
That's
thing. I know
that's
exactly what
probably
you're talking about.
unintentional. Like what happened with that? It's like that is probably a bug, but other than that, everything worked fine. All my unlocks were still there, but like my progress on like a harder difficulty was erased. And I was like, okay.
To me, that's even more egregious though. Doing it with Minecraft because, like you're saying, you've put in who knows how many hours into this world, creating it. This is your world,
Yeah.
especially if it was like your first one. And then you get that update screen. They're like, "Yeah, sorry, buddy." No, that blows. I guess
Yeah.
I thought of the example for me where, and this kind of brings back full circle to what I said earlier, is less is more. People don't want too many choices. And for me, the Minecraft for me is Fortnite. I really liked Fortnite. I definitely am the one that liked it out of us three the most. But Fortnite now, there's just too much. They added too many updates. I fell out of it. And now you go from riding a raptor to a motorcycle to holding a rocket that shoots you across the world. Like there's too much in my opinion, which for people that really like the game, they love all the updates and that's awesome. But man, it was just less is more.
Now imagine if every time there was a new season of Fortnite, instead of resetting your battle pass, they took away all your skins and
That'd be
all of that stuff too. All your stats just gone.
I would never play it.
I don't think Minecraft does that anymore. Where they like if they do updates, it's like, oh hey, this.
If it's like if the update affects the generation of the world, I believe you have to still.
Oh yeah.
So like the recent update they did that was like caves and stuff, I feel like you would have had to have. Or you live in the same world and none of the new stuff is in your area and you've got to go far away to find the new stuff.
I think that's how they did it before in the past. Because I remember playing with Jordan, we would always get really upset when they would release an update because it's like, wow, we're getting more content, but we can't.
But the new stuff's way over there. And I already explored way over there, so I got to go even farther than that. So dumb in my opinion.
Like that would be horrible even before the endless like update because like early game there's like just a finite amount of squares. Like you can't. It's like it blocks you.
That's just the console versions.
Yeah. That was.
PC was always unlimited.
Yeah.
Java anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I had other thoughts. I mean, like, the Pokemon DLC is coming out this week. I'm excited for it. But it's not like I got to reset my entire game to play it, you know. It's just extra. It's just more stuff on. It's like it's almost like another storyline, you know. That's why I think it's going to be fun. That's why I like that kind of stuff rather than here's a little bit, here's a little bit, here's a little bit, here's a little bit. That drip feeding live service content doesn't really work that well for me, I guess.
I think it works a lot better when you take a break from something and then go back into it. Although it's very counterproductive with the competitive shooter because then you're falling out of the meta.
See, it doesn't work like that with Minecraft. If I did that, I would hate it even more because it'd be like, man, I got to catch up. I got to figure out what all this stuff is that I didn't really even care about to begin with, you know?
To me, that's the fun part. That's why we got back into 7 days recently because they had a huge update.
See, I'm not into that. I like my games to be the way that they are, and
Never
if there's
change.
new add-ons, it's literally just because they added more content to like extra, I don't know, quests or something, stories. It's not like they're adding mechanics. The mechanics are still the same, but there's more content. Like, I imagine this Cyberpunk DLC will probably have a bunch of extra new stuff, but the base mechanics of shoot your gun at the bad guys is not going to change. And that kind of stuff changes in other games, like Minecraft, for example. Going back to that again, at one point you could have a shield and stuff. I wasn't in the base game. At one point they made me have a food bar, and I'm like, I didn't have that back in the game. You know, that's new.
See, most people love when they get more of something they really
and
like.
I'm fine with more too. Like I was saying, when it changes the mechanics of something that I really like, that's where I stop liking.
That's fair.
I don't remember where the origination of this conversation was. And I feel like I could have a point to loop it back to it, but I don't know what the origin or
I think it
origin
was
of
just back to how come you don't like open world games.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Open world games are just not for me. I don't know.
Well, and I think for me personally, I really like open world games, but holy crap, that's like all that's been coming out as far as AAA
Yeah,
goes.
open world games have become like the new. I remember back when we were in high school. There were shooters like every other month. There was a military shooter every time. Got sick of it. That trend has kind of died down. Like Call of Duty is the only really one that does it. Battlefield does it, but that franchise is in jeopardy now.
I just really wish every developer doesn't. I wish like the money wasn't an open world. I really do, because I want games that I want to play that won't be open world. Like, I love Pokemon. I don't think Scarlet and Violet should have been open world personally. That's kind of like the conclusion I came to. I thought it was good, and I thought it was fun to wander around in the world. I think Legends Arceus is better in that regard, but then again, it's smaller segmented sections.
It's more Monster Hunter structure.
Yeah, more Monster Hunter structure.
There's a lot more that goes into the details of making an open world game than just making your game open world. I think we saw that with Pokemon and like the leveling system.
Yep.
The world doesn't level up with you, so you could go off dicking around doing stuff, but then you come back and do the gym, and you're like, well, I guess I'm going to kill everything with whatever I want because it's a one-shot no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you take something like Tears of the Kingdom where, man, they, in my opinion, nailed it. That is the greatest open world game ever made.
I agree. And if I was someone who played open world, I think it'd be really hard to play something like Starfield. Because I'm watching people play Starfield here and there, and it looks like they're playing Skyrim, but space. And I'm just like, bro, like you've been playing Skyrim since you were 15 years old.
Yeah, gamers don't like change.
Yeah. But like, after playing Tears and Breath of the Wild, it's just like, I know what open worlds can be, and for some reason I like those, you know. So what's the catch?
The Bethesda formula.
It's bad.
That's an opinion. That most people... Actually, that's not true. I feel like a lot of people share that opinion now. That's what a lot of people have been complaining about with
Is that it's just the
Starfield.
same?
Yeah, well, they're saying it's the Bethesda formula, and they don't like the exploration, which I get the exploration part, totally understand that, but the Bethesda formula, it's a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
They're
I don't know what else
you're
you're supposed to do about the exploration in that. I mean, we don't really have the capabilities of just making like stupidly crazy planet-sized maps. I mean, we can barely make a map that's like the size of a city, like fun to explore. So how can we potentially even do
what people want out of that
multi-planets?
game is a lot. But I've heard, I mean, everybody obviously compares it to No Man's Sky because I feel like that's the standard, the gold standard of space games. I've never played either, so I don't really have much to say about it. But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like people's expectations or what they want is just technologically not feasible yet. Maybe it is though. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and watch Yakko's videos on Breath of the Wild just because it's like I realize he's also like me. He didn't like open world games either.
He one thing he mentioned that I was like, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I personally don't feel that way. Is he likes the more streamlined, instead of just giving me all these tools and letting me figure it out, give me an actual puzzle that is solved one particular way, that it's almost like putting yourself in the box and using the tools that you have specifically for that puzzle instead of giving you all these tools and say, figure it out, do whatever you want, because it tends to push you more into the direction of cheesing things, which I definitely did in Tears of the Kingdom. I cheesed a lot of things, and he was saying that that's something that he disliked.
Yeah.
And I feel like with open world games, that's kind of what you get is, here's your sandbox and here's all your toys. Go play.
remember I saw Thick's ruby count. It's like, wait, how did he get that many rubies? Like, he duped him. It's like,
That's a glitch, though. That's different than what
Yeah,
Yakko's talking about specifically. He's
Oh, yeah.
specifically talking about, like, oh, to get up to this platform, I'm supposed to build a staircase.
yeah.
Or I could pick up a platform, lift it up, drop it, and then rewind time and fly up.
Yeah, that sounds easiger, actually.
Well, and that's what he's saying is
Yeah.
he's saying that the
When that becomes the answer
Yeah.
to every single
Yes,
puzzle,
exactly.
then
Yeah.
what's the point?
whereas in like
Exactly.
a traditional Zelda game, there's tons of puzzles with different ways. There's one way to solve this
It's
puzzle.
like
Yeah.
you're going
Figure
through
it
a
out.
dungeon and it's all like, I wonder what that target thingy over there is going to be. Then like 3 seconds later you get the bow and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like specific
Yeah.
puzzles for specific
Yeah.
things, yeah.
I don't know. I just like to do things easier.
When it comes to sorry, go ahead.
An armored core, like you can make all these builds, and I found like a tank, 2 machine guns, 2 Stinger missile builds, and it's like it kills everything. It's like, yeah. But
Wait, are you telling me you like to play games on easy mode?
when there's I mean,
Can you believe this gamer right here?
I
He
mean-
likes easy mode.
Hey, I'm not playing Xenoblade on easy mode. I'm playing on the normal.
hey,
I
listen,
think.
it's the signature.
I don't care. You play whatever you guys want to play it on.
It's the signature. It's the signature from soft easy mode where you have to find it yourself. It's like, oh, you want easy mode? Do it yourself. Dark Souls, magic.
I guess when it comes down to it, the beauty of our hobby
Yeah.
is there's so many different types of games out there for people to enjoy. And at the end of the day, whether you like racing games or battle royales or fighting games, you like what you like.
Fighting games look so cool.
I
Yeah.
know. And when you see people combo, it's
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh,
oh,
it's so cool.
Wombo combo. The classic moment where Ryu pulls down his pants and he just slams it
That's
in Chun-Li.
such a freaking good moment. It's my
Yeah.
favorite cutscene of Street Fighter 3.
Yeah, you see his balls.
Third
flint.
strike.
All right.
Wait, isn't there like a shot of like, I don't know his name is, like Dalzim's balls or something in one of the games?
I don't know.
I think that's a thing. I really do. We're gonna leave you guys on that
yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about
Old
old
balls,
yoga
old
balls.
people balls.
balls in
Yeah.
video games. That's what this podcast
Yeah.
is.
When we get a video game where we can flinch our balls.
We got horse
like
balls in Red
tennis.
Dead.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have, let us know. What do you think about the stuff that we said? If you made it to the end, I
Give
love you,
yourself
I
a pat on the
guess.
back.
Post. Tell us about your favorite way to eat potatoes.
Give yourself
We'll
a pat
see you
on the
guys.
balls.
Have a good one and keep it rad.
Bye.
Bye.